Hey there, welcome to our audiobook channel. Today, we're bringing you a classic story from 1886, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. It's a dark tale about the two sides of human nature, the good and the evil. Let's begin. London was a city of fog, silence, and secrets. In that city lived Mr. Utterson, a lawyer. He was a quiet, serious man, but also loyal to his friends. One evening, as Utterson walked with his cousin, Mr. Enfield, he heard a story that chilled his blood. Enfield had seen something terrifying. A little girl was walking on the street when a small, deformed man ran straight into her and knocked her down. The girl screamed, and that man, he simply stepped over her body and kept walking. The neighbors were furious. They forced the man to pay money to the girl's family. He went inside a strange old house and returned with a check. But here's the shocking part. The check was signed by one of the most respected gentlemen in London. The man's name, however, was Hyde. Utterson felt uneasy, and then he remembered. His friend, Dr. Henry Jekyll, had written a will leaving all of his property to a man named Edward Hyde. Why would Jekyll, a respected doctor, trust everything to this cruel stranger? Utterson began to investigate, and one night he met Hyde face to face. Hyde was small, twisted, unnatural. There was something about his look, something beyond ugliness. People who saw him felt fear, disgust, even hatred, without knowing why. It was as if pure evil stood before them. Utterson's suspicions grew darker. He confronted Dr. Jekyll, who only smiled strangely and said, "Don't worry, I can get rid of Hyde whenever I wish. Please, never speak of him again." But soon after, London was shaken by horror. On a foggy night, an innocent man named Sir Danvers Carew was walking the street. From the shadows, Hyde appeared. With sudden savage rage, he beat the man to death with a heavy stick. When the police found the body, part of the weapon lay broken on the ground. Utterson recognized it. It was a cane he had once given to Dr. Jekyll. Hyde disappeared into the night. Utterson rushed to Jekyll's house. He found Jekyll trembling, pale, desperate. Jekyll showed him a letter in Hyde's handwriting, promising never to return. But Utterson saw the truth. The handwriting looked almost identical to Jekyll's own. For a short time, Jekyll seemed happier, almost free. But then, the darkness returned. He locked himself away. Friends stopped seeing him. And Utterson's other friend, Dr. Lanyon, fell gravely ill. Before Lanyon died, he handed Utterson a sealed letter. "Open it only after Jekyll is gone," he whispered, and then he was dead. Strange events followed. One day, Utterson and Enfield saw Jekyll at his window. He looked sick, but spoke kindly. Then, without warning, a look of sheer terror crossed his face. He slammed the window shut. Utterson and Enfield walked away, too shocked to speak. Finally, late one night, Jekyll's servant Poole came running to Utterson. "Something terrible has happened," he said. "The man in my master's laboratory, it isn't Dr. Jekyll. It's Hyde." On that Saturday, they went to the house. From behind the locked door came a strange, frantic voice, begging for chemicals, demanding potions. Poole whispered, "That is not my master's voice." Utterson's heart raced. They broke down the door. Inside, on the floor, lay the body of Edward Hyde, dead from poison. But Dr. Jekyll was nowhere to be found. On the table was a final letter addressed to Utterson. First, Utterson read Dr. Lanyon's letter. It revealed the truth. One night, Hyde had come to Lanyon, begging for chemicals from Jekyll's lab. In front of Lanyon's horrified eyes, Hyde drank a potion and transformed into Dr. Jekyll. The shock of that sight destroyed Lanyon's health and led him to an early grave. At last, Utterson opened Jekyll's own confession. Doctor, Jekyll wrote that he had always felt two sides within himself, one noble, one wicked. He created a potion to separate them. When he drank it, he became Edward Hyde, his darker half, free from guilt, free from conscience. At first, he enjoyed the thrill, but Hyde grew stronger, more violent, more uncontrollable. Jekyll tried to stop, but the change began to happen on its own, without the potion. The evil side was taking over. In the end, Jekyll wrote, I am losing myself. Soon there will be only Hyde. This is my final confession. May God forgive me. And then, silence. That was the last anyone ever heard of Dr. Henry Jekyll. And that is the end of the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. A timeless story about the struggle between good and evil inside every human being. If you enjoyed this audiobook, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more classics. P.